For me, AIDS is really a 24-hour job, and I'm not, as a woman, I'm not looked upon as being a person with HIV. Therefore, I'm not really recognized by the government as well as the social services and the healthcare community.
In the past, AIDS has always been perceived as a white gay man's disease because it seems that the virus did infect that community first. But it's really a matter of time before it will spread to virtually all sectors of the community.
Native American women view AIDS as something that's way out, that it's not close to them at all. It's in big cities, it's in other states, other areas, but not here, not here.
AIDS in our community is just one more issue to tackle on. So I think that's one of the problems that we have confronted in terms of education and reaching our population. This is just one more ill.
This virus impacts on every aspect of your life. You think about buying a house 10 years later, HIV disease. You think about, wow, what college do I want my daughter to go to? HIV disease. I mean, it impacts on every aspect of my life.
The married women still have this idea that if you put the wedding band on, you're completely safe. Everything is fine, and you're not at any risk.
It was like 2 years after my marriage that I found out that my husband had been an IV drug user. I didn't even really know before we were married that he was. And even then, it didn't click in. It didn't click in. I really did not associate my life with AIDS.
I think more AIDS patients would survive if they had more support and more love. You never know how much a person wants to live until you see the love that you give them and the outpouring of their strength, because then they'll start to fight.
As of October 1990, the World Health Organization estimates that 3 million women worldwide are infected with HIV, the AIDS virus. In the United States, women of color are especially hard hit. Over 70% of reported cases of AIDS are among women of color. Half of all reported cases of AIDS are among African American women, and approximately 20% are Latina women. Although these figures are compelling, women working in the field contend that they represent a substantial undercount, and that the incidence of infection of women is increasing at an alarming rate. AIDS is rapidly becoming a women's epidemic worldwide. Women are taking the lead in confronting AIDS. They are teaching each other with culturally sensitive methods, forming support groups, and creating new strategies for prevention and early intervention for those most in need.
Tell everybody, really. Anybody who's active and still on the pill, if they don't have enough good reason, or if they can't explain it to the man well enough, just tell him you're getting off the pill. Even if you don't, just tell him you're off the pill and they'll have to use condoms. It's a neat trick.
Well, that is a neat trick because I'm not on the pill, so, if I ever meet that one, that's exactly what I'm going to tell him.
You mean Mr. Right?
Well, yeah.
Instead of Mr. Right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I show videos and not just hand out flyers. When they come in for their hair appointments, they get to watch movies and ask questions, and I'll order special movies for them if I don't have it. They can watch something rather than sit and read a book on what AIDS is going to be and how it's going to affect their life. They can sit and watch a 15-minute video and get a pretty good idea. And then when I'm working on the hair, I tell them and answer all their questions while they're here.
I really would love to see that tag.
Next time you come in, just give me a call. It runs about an hour. Maybe when sitting under the dryer, we'll turn it up nice and loud and let you check it out. It'll be amazing. Everything you see on the ground will not
The fact that Diana picked up on doing AIDS, I thought it was just astounding. I also felt a little bad that she, being a hairdresser, took such an outreach on AIDS when you have all these health professionals who were just sitting back not doing anything. I thought it really made us look real bad. So when I had an opportunity to help out, I just jumped in and did that.
It started because I started sending for information for my client, for myself and my clients, since I didn't know what AIDS was, and I also didn't know whether I could get it on my hands. And I touch everybody So I got it for myself and shared the information with my clients. They wanted more and more. I sent for more. I wanted more. They wanted more. And it snowballed.
Before, I never really talked to my mom about AIDS, but after we would come from Diana's salon, I would ask her questions about how to catch AIDS and different things about the videos that I've been shown.
I think it's helped us. Well, I think it's helped her not be as afraid to talk to me about sex as she may have been in the past. She talks readily. I don't have to worry about any hesitation, so I feel like that'll help in our relationship later on.
The most important thing I think kids need to know is prevention of AIDS, because a lot of people are getting pregnant and things like that.
AIDS prevention education for the black community is more crucial than ever. African Americans die from AIDS 5 times faster than do whites, mostly because they do not receive treatment until later in the progression of their illness.
The people in South Carolina, the quote-unquote powers that be, who were in control of some of the finances, don't respect the issue and appear to be not as concerned what's happening in the black community. It seems to be a second-handed thought. It's something that they give it a shot as far as doing a little bit of AIDS education in the black community, but not putting a wholehearted effort out. When you've got over 25,000 illiterate people in the state, why give them a handout to read? Why spend money on another poster, another billboard to read if you can't read? Go out and be real. Get out in the community and work with the people and talk with them one-on-one and let them know what they need to know. And if we don't all stick together and educate each other, educate ourselves, we're not going to be here in the next century.
Each one, teach one. Learn about AIDS. Learn to live.
Excelente.
When people think of Asian Pacific community, they tend to think Chinese, they tend to think Japanese, Korean, and maybe Filipino, but Asian Pacific community represent more than that. We have, in Los Angeles County, we have a minimum of 30 to 32 Asian Pacific ethnic groups. Health is not their priority. They rather spend 12 hours or 13 hours in sewing factories, trying to get their ends meet. Unfortunately, that's the reality for a lot of immigrant communities. So that's why we go out to those places that people actually work and eat and earn money, so that we can let them know how important preventative health is. So long run, they'll be saving their money and time and a precious life for their families.
I realized that takes so much time to build up that trust from community. I remember that first few years that I went out to community, they look at me, that who are you, why you come here to tell me to go out, to have physical exam or to have blood pressure screening, those kind of things.
Especially for Asian Pacific women and Latinas, protecting yourself is not a priority. Priority has been always protecting your kids, protecting your husband, protecting your family. So turn around and then use what we value as educational strategy. So we start sending different message or different, you start using our perspective and integrate a perspective into effective community health education in the area of AIDS.
While women living in urban areas may sense cultural isolation, rural women face physical isolation. On Native American reservations, the problem is especially acute. Here, women are at greater risk when poverty means that medical care is a luxury.
As Native American women, we're facing a lot of problems in terms of being able to deal with the AIDS epidemic. We're a rural community and we're a low-income community, and we have a lot of incomeless families. We have 85% unemployment rate. We have high rates of sexually transmitted diseases. Access to immediate health care does not exist. You may be 50 miles away from a hospital. The Native American Women's Health Education Resource Center is the first resource center of its kind based on a reservation in the United States.
We take the basic information of what AIDS is, what HIV is, and try to make it culturally specific so people, local people and Indian people, other places will understand it. And we do that through the artwork, we do that through the written word, we translate it. And through all these methods, hopefully people will get the same message.
Aren't kids too young to learn about this?
Well, what they do is they start out by teaching them about germs and about disease and how you feel when you're sick, how you feel.
As a mother and an auntie, I feel it's really important that we not only empower ourselves as women, but that we assist in facilitating the empowerment of our youth, of our young men and our young women. And that's why it was so important to be able to get somebody like John involved in the project, because he could talk to the young men in terms of what are their responsibilities.
The satisfaction I get out of it is that none of my friends have AIDS or none of them test positive for HIV, and that's what I've been working for. So
Right now, AIDS education is moving on, and they're getting more into don't say no, but say yes to good things in your life. Say yes to touching, hugging, things where there's closeness and feeling. But don't shut yourself off by saying no.
In educating their community about AIDS prevention, activists promote the same traditional values expressed in art and culture. They teach safer sex behavior and early treatment of AIDS within the context of loyalty to the family and community.
When you're dealing with a family, you have a single head of household, and you're more concerned of how you're going to feed your babies, how you're going to be living for the next month, if you have enough money to pay the rent, or if you have enough food for your children. Everything else becomes totally irrelevant.
As women are the primary caregivers in the home, they have also become the primary caregivers in the fight against AIDS. The great majority of healthcare providers, social workers, and grassroots activists are women.
We need to be involved, whether it's in policy, whether it's in direct service, whether it's in whatever it is that you can offer. And it doesn't necessarily limit itself to the educated Latina. We're also talking about bringing in the oral tradition, our grandmothers, such as Mima.
I go to UC, that is the hospital for the University of California. I go to the Davis Hospital, I go to Laguna Honda, Garden Sullivan, and the Mother Teresa Hospice. I work the most at San Francisco General Hospital because that is where there are always the most AIDS patients, and that is where I have the most contact with them. I also visit them in their homes when they leave the hospital. I visit them at home to take them communion and to visit with them, and they become happy. Many of them do not have a home because they do not have anyone, no family. I want to mention something very important, the worst problem that we have, the family. The family does not want them. I have a case of someone who is going to die any day now. This girl is 23 years old, and her husband is bisexual. She did not know it when they got married, and they were even married in the church. 3 months later, she got very sick, and they took her to the hospital, and the doctors told her that she had AIDS. She felt a lot of shame when the doctors asked if she had been with other men. She was crying, and she said this had been the first man in her life and the first man she had been with, and this man still doesn't want to be tested.
There are many, many women who are out there who are the partners of bisexual men, and who have been consciously infected by those men who have gotten the education, who are educated around how to have safe sex, what to do to protect his family. We are open to talk about male homosexuality and male bisexuality, but we haven't even begun to deal with the issue of women and their sexuality.
We currently have approximately 90 women in our research study, women who are high risk for AIDS because their partners are injection drug users. These women are from Long Beach. They are primarily ethnic minority women, Black and Latina. Oftentimes they are married, and I think that's been a misconception when doing some of the research for this project. Many of our women are not only married to these men, but have been in long-term relationships with them.
When we have our enhanced education sessions for our participants, we give them incentives. We give them something for appearing and being a part of our presentation. We give them anywhere from $10 to $15 worth of food vouchers. We give them bus passes. We give them clothing sometimes. What we've been doing lately is we have dinner parties. We send them an invitation that's printed and it's mailed to them, and it says exactly what it is. It's a presentation and a dinner party for you and your mate. We provide child care. We have a babysitter here. We have activities and games. And if there's a birthday party or if somebody's having a baby, we have baby showers. Anything that's going on to really let them know that we really are attuned to what's going on in their lives.
Many of them are family women who, because they live in lower socioeconomic urban minority areas where drug use is endemic, end up with injection drug using partners.
They're embarrassed because they got an IV drug user, you know, and I told them, well, open up to him. Explain your feelings. Don't be closeted. I just tell them to be open up. I tell them about it's more of a risk for them. Women that don't use and have male partners that use. And I explain it to them. They can get AIDS, even if they don't use drugs. There are a majority that stay in the house. They don't come out. And I just try to be honest with them and let them know what's happening.
Because I needed diaper money, and they told me that they paid people to come down and get an AIDS test. And so I came, you know, and they told me that because I was a non-user that I could be in part of a women's program. But I like coming here anyways because they make you feel at home. They're real, you know, friendly. And they're not shy to talk about anything. They tell you straight out what's happening.
Based on the information we got from the video, the information you've heard so far, and the information you got in our first session, we are going to do a little role play, sort of exercise.
I think that role playing is a wonderful way to allow our participants to anticipate potential reactions that they may have when they do confront their partners with real personal issues like condom negotiation. And with the information that we've given them, we need to have a safe, comfortable way for them to get an idea of what they may come against. And they really are better able to project what may come up in their own relationships with their partners at home or how it may affect their children.
When we're at home, we talk about it. We talk about our meetings that we have to come to. You know, so we rotate. She watches the kids, and then I come, and then, you know, so we'll come and discuss what we each learned at the meetings. And, you know, maybe I missed something or she missed something, and then we share it with everybody else.
I try to let them know that I care because I think that language of caring and that language of nurturing is more powerful than all the statistics in the world.
Just stand over there and I'll give you your card.
It is a multi-complex, problematic, very fragile population of women who need many services. When I first started doing this work, there wasn't a community of women with AIDS and ARC in San Francisco. That was in 1986 when I had 3 women clients. At this time, over 190 women clients are coming to the AIDS Foundation for services. Most of the women who come here because they need help with social services. And out of the 190, 15 of those women have insurance and benefits. So we're looking at a disenfranchised population.
Some of the people in the group, they don't tell their families that they're sick. They don't tell the people at their jobs they're sick. And so it's a place where they don't have to be afraid of hiding their virus.
They are thought to be, by their behavior, either promiscuous or an IV drug user, and IV drug users are seen as uneducable and immoral and criminals.
I didn't think my kids should have to be living the lifestyle and living and seeing all the negative and bad things that go along with using drugs. And I left, and since then I found out that I have the virus. And now I really want to spend more time being their mom while I'm alive.
I wanted to have children, and I was told when I tested positive that I couldn't have children, that there was a 50-50 chance, and that it was not advisable for me to have children. And that for me is sad, that my choice has been taken away.
The more that these women learn, the more power they feel that they have. They then become speakers on panels and AIDS educators and activists.
Fighting to get on these clinical trials, which it was a fight to get on them as well, and being the only woman, I felt that the research community wasn't trying that hard to get other women besides myself, that I really felt that since I was a woman, that's where they stopped with me, that they had found a token woman.
They have many problems. They have housing problems, financial problems. Many of them don't have adequate health care. Many of them are used to substandard discriminatory treatment as women of color, as poor women.
A lot of people look at safer sex as a situation where the music has been cut off. You know, you're dancing along and you're having fun, and the record's cut off. But what we try to teach you with safer sex techniques is that the music has not been cut off. There's just a different tune playing, and you just have to adjust to that different tune. Here you see a little garter, but look what we find inside. See? He has no excuse. He has no excuse.
The purposes of the support group are to end the isolation that many women with HIV experience and face. There are several stereotypes about women and AIDS. One, that women who get AIDS are somehow those women, that they're the women who are prostitutes and drug addicts, that they're the bad people, that they're not people that we would want to associate with. And there's serious damage caused by that stereotype. Society feels no obligation and responsibility for a, quote, bad woman.
I have accepted that I am neither villain nor victim in this situation, that I have HIV disease, it does not have me. And I mean, I have to tell myself this stuff on a daily basis.
I meant to fight the stigma of, you know, when this first happened to me. I have been fighting in every inch of the way. People don't have a right to do this to you. No one has you have the right to be happy. You have the right to be you in whatever space, wherever you are in your life. You don't have to apologize to a damn soul about that. And this is what, I'm sorry. I really gotta, this is a big thing with me.
I've been on a new drug for the past almost going on 3 weeks, alpha interferon, and I've had a real good, I haven't had any side effects from it. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that's gonna boost things up. I'm feeling pretty good.
I can't say tonight I feel fine, because I don't, you know, I can't sit here and lie to myself. I've been losing a lot of weight and I'm getting scared now. You know, Cheryl used to look good. Then she lost her weight and stuff, and that hurted me, you know, and now I'm getting scared because I'm getting darker and skinnier, and as soon as Cheryl got like that, she died. You know, I'm just scared right now because I'm young. And, you know, I ain't even see life yet.
I couldn't believe that my sister was gone. It never entered my mind to disown my sister because she had AIDS. Because we were twins, it was a bond there that just could not be broken. because you were diagnosed with AIDS. Most people thought, well, okay, she got AIDS, put her in a home somewhere because you're going to be exposed to it. You might get it, your son might get it. The misinformation that we received, it was unbelievable. I couldn't understand why a social worker would tell me I had to get separate dishes, separate glasses. Everything Cheryl used had to be bleached to death. Every obstacle that was thrown up, we fought it together. Cheryl did get a chance to live a little bit, but not much. I still say she had a long way to go. I know I have a long way to go, and knowing that she's not going to travel that road with me, she's going to miss out on so much.
Women have begun to fight together in the battle against AIDS, and unfortunately, it is only the beginning. To protect ourselves, we must start by informing and educating ourselves. If the battle is to be won, more people must make a commitment to the fight. Together, we can confront an inadequate and unresponsive healthcare system. Together, we can overcome the discrimination, intimidation, and abuse traditionally inflicted upon women, particularly poor women and women of color. Together, we can help our representatives in government understand the alarming risks that women face and the urgency of combating this disease. Now is the time to fight for women's lives.
We can begin to work together as Latinas first, as women, whatever sexual preference or identity we have. It's really important to have that common bond, but if that's not happening on a political level, I don't think we can do much work.
It's really hard when all I'm really trying to do is to fight for my life, you know. And it saddens me that my sisters are dying.
Those of us who are protected and those of us who are privileged because we've got a full-time job and we don't have the virus at this point in time have a responsibility to our sisters to reach out and to be supportive of them.